go into today's training, my name is TC. I'm a launch and sales funnel strategist. I'm also an online business manager to women entrepreneurs. So, I'm very passionate about helping women create that consistent income, leveraging systems, funnels, and automation. This is going to be very easy. Okay, so you want to, as much as possible, participate. Okay, you want to participate. You want to ask all of your questions, because that's basically what we are going to be trashing today. I want to help you figure out how you can make money, what you need to do, how this money is coming in, and how you can grow and scale that six-figure business, okay, online. It's very possible. It's very easy. You just need to know how, okay? And that's basically what we will be trashing today. So like I said earlier, you want to be very comfortable and you want to ask all of your questions, okay? Make it as interactive as possible. So I love to do this whole housekeeping reminders, okay? So don't turn on your cameras until I'm done with the training, just so that we are actively participating in the chat. Drop all of your questions, okay, in the chat, and I'll do well to respond to all of them in due time, right? Let's stay active in the chat. I love, all of the activities in the chat, and also be on the lookout, right? You would definitely get a 1-minute quiz to help you figure out if you're ready for that launch, right? I know, trust me, we're all looking out to making so much money. And if there's any secret of consistent income, that, trust me, every six-figure expert, coach, consultant, product-based business, you would always hear this, right? Keep launching. Okay, now you can go hard, you can go soft, but you want to keep pushing out those amazing offers to your audience, so you get them all excited, okay? And then the money keep rolling in. That's basically what I'm about. All right. Okay, so for this workshop, what we're going to be doing is in 4 segments, all right? We're going to be talking about what a sales funnel is. Trust me, you'll be shocked as to know that whatever you're thinking about is actually not what a sales funnel is. And I'm also going to be trashing why you need one to scale your business online. I'm sure you don't know this, but there are important components, right, that you literally need to be very aware of to get your sales funnel working for you. When I'm talking about that, I'm literally going to trashing that out so you know what to look out for, what to put in place to get that consistent income rolling in. All right. We're also going to be talking about, like I said, 3 funnels. So there's a twist to this, right? I'm going to be talking about a funnel that e-commerce businesses should, as much as possible, tap into. I'm also going to be touching about funnels that service-based business. So no one is left behind, okay? And you should be able to, like, literally, these are the funnels that you need ASAP in your business. So if you don't have it, you want to, as much as possible, implement it, like, have it, okay? Create it so you're able to scale to that 6-figure online. And as much as possible, I'm also going to be sharing with you recommended tools. So I always have this. Sometimes, I have people say to me, "Cici, you have your trainings and you're not dishing out all of them tools." Trust me, there's so many, but I'm going to break it down for you, and I'm going to streamline these tools for you so that you're able to figure out, the best tools that you can. Start researching on, so you're able to pick that one unique tool that would help you basically sell out on all of your offers. I'm not kidding you, I'm very serious here. Okay, so I said earlier, my name is TC. I have almost 9 years experience in business, sales, marketing. I'm very passionate about systems, automation, because it literally changed my life, right? If you don't know this, right, I literally had my first 6-figure year last year, and I then realized that it's really not as difficult as they say it is. It's just you understanding the tricks, and that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So take out your notepad, your pen, all of those good stuff, and start taking notes. Okay. I'm not sure if you're going to get this replay, but hopefully, sure, I don't know. But you want to take that note and you want to leverage on this workshop to ask all of your questions. Okay, that is very important. So now, talking about sales funnel, what did you hear about sales funnel? So if you have a sales funnel, drop 1 in the chat. If you're like, TC, what is sales funnel, drop 2. I'm checking, okay, and I want to know what you're thinking. So I see you're dropping it. Okay, that's fine. So here's the thing. Sometimes we call or we say, hey, TC, I get people reaching out to me, says to me, TC, I need a sales funnel. And I'm like, what do you need your sales funnel for? And after the conversation, you just realize that what they need is actually a sales page or a landing page or a website, and you're like, no, that's not a sales funnel. So I'm going to breaking it down for you today so that you understand that your sales funnel is not a landing page. It's not a sales page. It's a process, right? It's a process that shows you clearly, you have like this visual representation of how you are able to attract your target audience, right? Your target market, how you're able to connect them, and how you're able to work them through that purchasing journey with you. Trust me, this is huge because sometimes, you want to build that momentum. You want to build that excitement. You want to build that confidence, not only in the minds of your audience, but also because you start making the money, you start selling out from within, from you, right? Now, when you're able to see clearly how you're able to connect with these people, where you need to build your tent, what platforms you need to build your tent, what kind of messages are you pushing out, you're able to have like this clear view of what it is. Now it becomes easier to communicate your transformation, the solution that you have for your audience. Now, you not only have like this clear expectation and all of that, it becomes easier for you to sell out on all of those offers. So you see, that's basically what your sales funnel is all about, right? Your sales pages, your this, your that. It's just, one of the missing pieces, right, of your sales funnel. You want to, as much as possible, understand what this is so you're able to get the best out of it. I always say this in all of the trainings that I find myself in. The goal behind your sales funnel, 2 things, right? To be able to get to understand your audience better, and as much as possible, you are able to sell out. It's just sales. That's it, right? But you want to be able to figure out how to go about it, right? Your sales funnel, like I said, is going to help you understand your clients, your prospect, what to expect, how to connect with them, what to provide to them, in what way you should provide to them, right? It also helps you in understanding who you truly are. You're able to define who you are and how best to market, right, to your audience. Trust me, having a sales funnel is powerful. Okay. Usually some people would say, no, there's no need you telling me why I need a sales funnel. Trust me. You need to understand the benefits of certain things for you to know how well, right, how important it is in your business, for your business. I listed out some of these benefits, and I tell you, these are just some, right? These are just some, aside from the fact that, if you have, a funnel, because so many of us do have funnels. Some of us do. But now the question is your funnel, is it set up the right way? Is it designed the right way to be able to give you that result that you need? Most times the answer is no. Now, if you've ever designed a funnel for yourself and you're like, you know what, TC, my funnel isn't working, drop 1 in the chat. No, I'm really serious here because I want to show you what is missing, right, in that funnel so that you're able to fix it and get it working for you. Okay, that's the goal, right? Having a funnel with leaky holes will definitely lead to you having, okay, let me give you an example. So it's like you pouring water, right, in a basket. Nothing is ever going to remain, right? And so you just keep putting all of the energy, keep putting all of the effort, and nothing to show for it at the end of the day. Aside from creating, amazing messages that would speak directly to who you want to target, depending on whatever launch you have going on. I always say this: do not launch unless you have a funnel you're working with. Now, whenever I see this, it's always, oh my gosh, do you see the expense? No, you want to get results, you need a funnel, because your funnel will help you understand the different stages, right, that your ideal client is in their purchasing journey with you. Now, once you're able to understand that, it becomes easier for you to create and deliver relevant content, messages, right, that speaks directly to a certain set of your audience, right? Now, that way, you're also able to provide them with uninterrupted, amazing customer experience. Why? Because you know who they are, you know what the expectations are, you know what they want and how they want it. Now, once you're able to understand this part, it becomes easier to serve them. It's always very confusing when you are serving people you don't know. You end up making mistakes. You end up not because you're not good, not because your offers are not good, but because you don't understand them, they don't understand you. You're just working on an assumption. As at the end of the day, there's just this glitch, right? So you want to be able to figure that out. That's just one of the benefits. Now, I love this part because I'm sure this is what you want to hear, right? You want to be able to qualify and filter and sieve out, those people that are going to waste your time. Service providers, I'm sure you would definitely agree with me. There's so many people that get on a call with you. There's a bunch of time wasters, right? And so some people would even get on a call with you and they're literally talking something outside, like outside of what exactly you have going on. And you'll be like, why did you even, schedule a call with me in the first place? Right? If you have a discovery call, most times, if you do not have a funnel, it becomes much more difficult, okay, to filter those bad leads, way before they even get to you. So you want, as much as possible, figure this out. So you're able to focus on the people that want you, focus on the people that need what you have. Now, it's not about, okay, you know what? I need people to buy from me like right now. Okay, sometimes you want to be able to differentiate who your hot leads are, your warm leads, your cold leads. You see, all of these people, right? They're good, they're good leads, right? However, they are in the different stages of their purchasing journey with you. Now, how are you able to know who is in the space of a hot lead or a cold lead or a warm lead? How are you able to, connect with them at the stage where they are, provide what they need, how they need it, the content, the offer? How are you able to do it if you don't have a funnel, right? Trust me, selling becomes, it feels like breeze, right? That chill, cold breeze when you when you just, walk beside the ocean on the beach. That's how it feels like when you have a sales funnel. All right. So you want, as much as possible, understand that part first things first, right? Okay. So I know, I talked about trying to touch, but if you're an e-commerce business, if you're a service provider, because even if you're an e-commerce business owner, right? But you have a business online, I tell you, there's this power with income diversification. Okay, you make more money, passive income, right? You bring in all of this income, and in no time you're getting your 6 figure, right? So you want to, as much as possible, key into this, right? So this is just an example using your Shopify website. So I was explaining, right, that a simple example or a simple B2C sales funnel might look like, okay, somebody goes to your Shopify website, for example. So now this is not just specific to Shopify website, okay? It could be a Wix website, whatever website you use it, a landing page, okay? It could be a product page. If somebody goes to your website, for example, now the beginning is not your website. The beginning of your, basically where your sales funnel starts, it's not your website, right? It's your traffic generator. Where is this traffic coming from? Now, how did they get to know you? How did they get to hear from you? Is it from your social media posts? Is it from your blog post? Is it from Google search? Is it from, a paid advert you did? Where? Okay, so you get that traffic. So that traffic gets to your website, right? Now, these people obviously are still visitors. They don't know anything about you. They just saw you from somewhere. Now, they could have a clue as to who you are if they're already following you on social media. However, most of the time, we still tag them as visitors because they're still getting to know you, right? So now they click on the link and they're like, all right, this is good. And, you have like this, your pop-up on your website, maybe incentivizing them, first-time buyer or something, or it's just different offer. Now, it depends on you on how you want to get them to take action, right? Now you have this, and if they are able to want to take that next step with you, depending on how convincing you are, so they could either go follow you through your website, on they could follow you on social media if they're not following you already, or they could just decide to sign up to your list, right? Now, once they sign up to your list, that means something. They become a lead. Okay, now you can walk them through. Yeah, I know that you have email list here, but your list could be your SMS list, it could be your Telegram list, it could be your WhatsApp list. The most important thing is you are qualifying who these people are. So now they've gone past the public scene. Now they've gotten into a VIP space, right? I call your list the VIP space because now you know these people are interested in what you have going on. And so they've given you their consent to to build a relationship with them, to nurture them, and all of those good stuff, right? You want to, as much as possible, be sure that you know where exactly what these people want, right? Be sure that they're giving you their consent. This is very key. If you want to qualify them, and be sure, and you say to yourself, okay, you know what? I have quality leads, right, in my space. You want, as much as possible, use your double opt-in just so you have your consent, okay? So I said, depending on the contact details they share, you can then take them to that next step. All right, I'm giving you the step, okay? You can then take them to that next step. Usually, once they go into your list, you want to start up with a campaign, right? If it's your email list, you should have a welcome campaign for them, getting them comfortable, getting them, now, even if that's not how they got into your list, they got into your list because they're interested in a particular offer, but for some reason, they're not able to, a particular product, and for some reason, they're not able to continue. You want to follow them up because now they're on your list. You want to follow them up with a campaign, to win them back, to get them back. We're going to talk about that in another week, all right? But after you're able to interact with them based on like a marketing campaign, SMS marketing, WhatsApp, email, depending on how you want to go about it, you want to start giving to them relevant content. Now I'm going to break this down for you. Because you are leveraging on a sales funnel, it becomes easier, right, to create personalized content that speaks directly to the needs of these people, right? Now, once you're able to do this, selling becomes like ABC to you, right? Because these people need what you want. You provide them with what they want, and boom, right? You just hit the jackpot. It's super easy, okay? Now, from prospect customer, really, you want to even incentivize them more. Because sometimes people are like, you know what, TC, how do I get these people to buy more? Right? That's the power of your sales funnel. You don't just stop. I always say to people, my funnel don't just stop at just sales, right? Because after the one sale, what happens next? What happens to you? Right? It's the consistency in the income, right? You want to get them coming back, buying more. You need that strategy. Your funnel, that's why it's very powerful, because you literally will keep replicating these customers. As long as they still want you, you want to be ready to stay top of mind. You want to be ready to provide them with everything that they need, right? So as much as possible, you want to just, make sure that you have a funnel working for you in your business, okay? I know I talked about sharing with you elements of a sales funnel that works. But before we go into that, if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. I'll be looking out for your questions. Better still, just keep dropping your questions in the chat. Once we're done with the training, definitely going to go back and pick it up, okay? Just so we're able to tackle all of your questions. So keep the questions coming, and I will definitely pick it up. So now, talking about, one second, okay. Talking about what you need to get your sales funnel working. I've had people reach out to me, say to me, TC, somebody did this, and I'm not seeing nothing, and I'm not doing this, and it is this. They scammed me. Sometimes it's not anyone scamming you. It's just you not understanding that there are basic, specific elements, right, that your sales funnel needs to work. Now, if there is any omission, like in this are like the 4 basic, like literally, if your sales funnel doesn't have anything, you should have all of this, right? Now, if any one of this is missing, sometimes, right, you always get that feedback. Sometimes you always get that rant. Oh, you can have your sales page, your landing page, your website, it can't function on its own. It's like you're saying, I buy a car. You don't put gas in it, you don't put fuel in it, you don't put anything in it, and you just park it in your garage and expect it to work. How is that? Not drive itself, right? Unless you're going to use the self-driving car, but you know what I'm talking about, right? It needs something to work. Hence the need for your engaged audience. And I use the word engaged audience, right? Because for you to have a successful launch, right? For you to have a sales funnel that works, your excited, super pumped up audience is very important. There is no way your sales funnel is going to work if there is no traffic, right? You literally, I think I have to just briefly go back. Let me show you something. So you see this picture here, right? There, there's so many pictures like this, right? But you see this picture here, having all of these people jumping, right? You need the traffic. For your sales funnel to work, you need that traffic. And not just the traffic, you need engaged audience. People that are excited, like they're already waiting for you. That's one easy way to get your launch sellout. Now, if people are not expecting what you have, who is going to buy it? No one is going to buy it. And your product, your service is not going to sell itself. Your knowledge, you're just gonna have your knowledge. It's just going to be you and yourself that know that you're that good. Nobody else will, right? So you need the engaged audience, okay? Because this engaged audience tap into your landing page, right? And let me break this down for you. Most times we think, or we have this misconception that funnels are landing pages or sales pages, and no, they're just posts that carries your offer. So even if you have an amazing landing page, well designed, but your offer is not clearly communicated, right? You're not able to communicate the transformation your product or your service is providing to this super pumped up audience. Nothing's gonna happen. They're just maybe just going to find their way to your list, some, but nothing's gonna happen. You're not gonna make that sale, right? So it is like your irresistible offer, properly communicated, properly structured, is as good as, you paying attention to it. It's as good as you paying attention to your landing page. It's as good as you paying attention to your traffic generator. Where is it? Blog posts? Is that where you're getting your traffic from? Is it paid? Is it organic? Social media? What platform? Right? You want to be able to, it's the different piece, right? And then you bring this different piece together to make one whole unified bunch. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Now, I love the automated marketing campaign. That's like very intentional. I had to put that because if you want to set your business on autopilot, that's basically one of the benefits you get from having a sales funnel, right? I personally, right, I have twin boys. I laugh when I always talk about it. I have twin boys, very active, and they always give me a reason to want to exercise, even when I don't want to, right? Now, they keep your life very active. Sometimes fun, sometimes not too fun, because you have to go around. Like, I literally had my episode of Back in Fort Hospital. I think that's like about last week, right? We just literally finished the whole episode yesterday, right? And life happens. Even if you don't have kids, life happens. Now, when life happens, doesn't mean your business stop existing. Think about it. Your clients still want you. They still want to hear from you. Your audience still want to hear from you. You want to stay top of mind because with online space, that's the trick, right? Hence the need for automating your marketing campaign. Now, this can be your email, it could be your email, it could be your what's the name again? Your SMS, it could be WhatsApp, it could be, it could even be your social media, right? Automating your marketing campaign is key. So as to literally put your entire business on autopilot, let your business make money for you, right? That's one of the benefits of having a sales funnel, right? So once you have these 4 elements, trust you would love and enjoy running the business, right? Especially online. Okay, so yes, that's the first second, right? Yeah, that's the first and second segment. Let me know if you have any questions. Keep dropping your questions in the chat. I see them all, but I want to be able to have designated time for your question. Now, if you want the secret to unlocking, consistent 6-figure launches, you want to transition from being a 9-to-5 amazing professional to being a full-time entrepreneur, you're scared. You're not sure if it's time. Now, take this 1-minute quiz to discover how to launch your office to a hot list of ready buyers. It's a quiz, right? This will just help you figure out what stage you're in. Are you ready? Because I always like to say this to my clients. you want to be ready, right? You want to be ready, whether it's really no perfect time to launch. However, once you're able to tick, all of the things, check, 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 now okay, you know what, TC, I can do it. Let me take that step. So that's basically what the 1 minute quiz is all about. Now, we're going to how you want to make money. The different business, literally, even if you don't like this, you need this funnels ASAP in your business. Like even if you're saying to me, okay, TC, there are 3, which one do I start from? But you will decide once I'm done, right? Okay, so I have 3 for you. So there's so many funnels because depending on what your goal is, you need to design a funnel that will help you achieve your goal. Okay. You want to be able to design a funnel that will help you achieve your goal. However, if you're starting off, right, you can, start off with this. This will help you at least start growing your business, start scaling your business, to 6 figures. Then every other one can just come with the flow, right? I love the lead generation funnel, live event funnel, high ticket funnel, because I'll say to you, both e-commerce, service providers, we all need a lead generation funnel because you're not going to sell to yourself. Your product and your services are not going to sell to you're not going to sell to yourself. You're not going to use what you're providing. Hence the need for quality leads. People that are ready, waiting, super pumped up, waiting for you, right? For you to launch that offer, for you to launch that product, that service. Hence the need to design for yourself a lead generation funnel. Your live events funnel, obviously, this is for service providers, right? Services-based businesses. This is where basically you have your webinar funnel, workshop funnel, your life challenge funnel. So if you are a health and wellness coach or consultant, if you are insurance, if you are entertainment, if you are event planning, entertainment, health and wellness, in real estate, you want as much as possible tap into your life events funnel, right? I love those challenges. Trust me, they help you not only create and diversify your offers, it also helps you in streamlining your sales cycle, the sales process. It works like magic, trust me. I'm just going to pause with that. Now, if you're like me that love the high ticket thing, so really now, I'm going to share this with you. Sometimes some people would say, oh, I don't like high ticket because it's demanding. Well, that's why it's a high ticket, right? Because sometimes some people, that's why it's important, right, for you to have a funnel, because you're able to decide where exactly people are in their journey with you. Now, some people need extra attention, that VIP attention. Don't leave them. Don't leave them behind. Okay? Take advantage of it. That's what your high ticket is about. Just giving, extra attention, one-on-one attention, and extra experience, and all of that. And it works. And so if you want to scale, you want to think about it too. For people that want the extra, give them extra, right? So this is just a breakdown of what your lead generation funnel looks like. Like you have it, right? This is just a simple, I literally just drew this pencil, my my notes, my notes, and I'm like, you know what, let me just scribble something, so you can see what this looks like real time. So it's not picture, it's me writing, and that's my beautiful handwriting. You like. All right, so benefits basically, right? For your lead generation funnel. The goal behind this funnel is to help you generate quality leads, right? That's the goal. Generate quality leads. Leads that are hot leads, hot list of quality leads. People ready, waiting to just tap into your offer. So with this particular funnel, you're going to be preparing your audience, building that momentum, building that relationship. You're blowing up your awareness, your presence online, the interest of these people, just blowing it up, right? That's basically what that's basically what your lead generation looks like. Your lead generation funnel is for, right? It helps you understand better the target market. It helps you understand better who you want to serve, who you are as a brand, as a business owner, right? It helps you in building that hot list, right? Because you need it if you're going to launch. All right. So you need it, whether e-commerce, whether service, you definitely need this. So, the space where I have your landing page, it could be your product page if you're an e-commerce business, right? But you want to, as much as possible, leverage on the double opt-in, right? This is very important. Your double opt-in, your offer structuring, and your sequence, your follow-up sequence, right? This is very key. Because for your double opt-in, if people don't give you their consent, right? Most times you always find your emails, especially in the spam. Now, if you're using your SMS list, that's also very tricky. If people don't give you their consent, they definitely you should be waiting up for the block and repeat. And that's very risky to your IP, risky to your domain, because your domain can be blacklisted. Your IP can be blacklisted. Okay, so you want to be very careful with that. I talked about the live event funnel. I love the webinar funnel. Your challenges, or you have your 3-day challenge, 5-day challenge. These are like money droppers. Like they literally bring in the money, right? They bring in the money, they bring in the ideas, they bring in the revenue, they bring in the offers, right? And they get you understanding your audience better. Now, you want to be sure that as much as possible that your webinar funnel, your webinar is basically what your audience wants. So if you have an audience that is more interactive, they love it live, you can have it live. Now this, once done, right, and you have like proof, social proof, testimonials, you can have it evergreen. Set it up as an evergreen funnel. You know why? So that it can just make money for you on autopilot. I've had 5-day challenge launch funnels that basically bettered courses, right, from a 5-day challenge, because yes, your typical course doesn't have to be 10 modules or 5 modules, right? You're gonna have a course of 3 modules, right? Because trust me, the more accessible, right, the more your course is able to communicate clearly, right, the better. So you want to, as much as possible, tap into this. Okay. Your 5-day challenge, obviously you need plan, you need your offer. Timeline is very key if you're doing challenges, right? Let me just pause there because there's something I need you to know. If you've ever created a lead magnet before, doesn't matter what lead magnet it is, right? Share with me in the chat what lead magnet you're using now, because your lead generation funnel needs that. Okay, remember, this would help you in qualifying your leads. This would help you in getting your ideal client's contact information, so you're able to sell them something and all of that. And your leads can be anything and everything that is relevant, that is valuable and useful to your audience. Okay, so you want to as much as possible put that into consideration. Okay. I was talking about, hold on, let me go back. Okay. Yeah, I was talking about your live events funnel. Okay. You can have them be your webinar, it could be your workshop, it could be your 5-day challenge, right? But as much as possible, know that the goal, right? The goal is to help you get quality leads to a certain offer, right? Usually the goal behind this particular funnel is to make sales, right? It's not just the leads. Yes, you're going to get the leads, but you want to sell the lead, sell something to your leads, right? So you're taking them somewhere. Okay. Now I have the high ticket funnel. This is super easy, right? You just need simple things: your landing page or your sales page. You need your thank you page. So you need your thank you page, your landing page, so it's super easy. Remember, your high ticket funnel should be as simplified as possible. It should be very simple, straight to the point, no too much talk, because the people that are ready to pay, all they need is conviction that you can deliver on whatever your offerings are, right? And I love this high ticket funnel because basically it weeds out all of people that can't pay, people that can't afford your high ticket offers, right? It just clears them out, weeds them off. And so when you're creating that impact, you're not feeling overwhelmed getting people to get on a call with you. They're not able to pay for the offering, right? So you want as much as possible. If you have a high ticket offer or package, know that you need a high ticket funnel, right? So that you don't waste your time. You help people manage their expectations, and you get what you need, right? Which is the right people paying into your offering. Yes, so we're just gonna round up with this, right? Recommended tools. There's so many amazing tools for your sales funnel. You have you can use funneling softwares like ClickFunnels. There is FG Funnels. There is GrooveFunnels. There's Lead Pages. There is HubSpot's Build, amazing funnels, right? If you have a cloud-based email marketing platform, you can also build your funnels within, right? They're amazing platforms, but remember, you want to make sure that the tool that you use it on is cloud-based, right? It has it's highly compatible, right? It's able to you're able to integrate it to whatever other various platforms or tools that you use, right? Most importantly, it is user-friendly, right? With the interface, user-friendly. You want to also check the customer support. That's a big one for me as well, right? You want to check the customer support. You want to check the customer support as much as possible. Okay, so thank you so much. I think I still see, hold on. Yeah, so let me know if you have any question. I can share more of the tools with you if you're very specific with what exactly you want to work with and what your budget is, right? Thank you so much, everyone, for participating actively to this workshop. In this workshop, I'm TC, and I will check in on all of your questions right now. Thank you so much.
All right, TC, you dropped a lot of complex dense gems on us. Kudos to everybody that has been in this session, digesting this, writing notes about this, taking it in. I know, I know that this was one of the more dense sessions, and these are important. Again, we're talking about bending but not breaking in the middle of recession. And what TC is teaching you is not just the marketing, right? But the sales piece. Hey, beautiful, how are you? Oh, you're on mute, mama.
Okay, I'm great. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay.
All right, CC. So I'm gonna flip questions to you. They're a good bit, and we'll try to blitz through these pretty quickly because y'all, we have one more session to end the day, and then y'all are free to go to the booths and like kick it with your homies, kick it with your biz besties. But I'll flip the first question on stage, TC, and this one is from Amber Hurt, and she asks, "What is your advice to get over the thought of sending out too many emails and potentially losing people?"
Segmentation. So here's the thing, right? Pardon me if you have this echo. I'm actually in the hospital. But
Are you okay? CC. Are you okay? Because we're gonna have to stop it now if you're
I'm good.
not
I'm good
okay.
now. I'm good now. So
Black
you
woman, you
need
sure?
to.
You sure? Are you sure, black
Yeah.
woman? All
Yes.
right, go ahead.
Okay, so you want to, as much as possible, segment. So that's where your sales funnel comes into place. Because as people work through your funnel, right, they kind of your funnel sees them out, right, and so you're able to meet them where they are. Now, with so many emails, your definition of so many emails is because you're sending everyone the same thing. Now, with segmenting your list, what happens is you are creating personalized content for these people, right? And now there's really nothing like too much emails for people that want to consistently hear from you. Now, if you say to me, TC, TC, some people maybe, I'm sending maybe 3, 4, 5 emails. I tell you, if you have a launch, right, like a serious launch, you wouldn't want to send just one email. Now, not everyone is interested in that particular launch. That is why once you're able to highly segment your list, it becomes easier to figure out who are the people that needs this particular content, this particular offer, so that you're able to, target those emails to those people, right? And so there is really no such thing. I tell you, people that want to hear from you, I have people saying to me, TC, like, you need to keep sending me these reminders. I'm super busy. Right now, some people are like, you know what? I don't want to get too many of these emails. Have them in another segment, have a special space for them. So you're not releasing them out. What you're doing is creating a VIP special space just for them. I hope
All
that
right,
answers.
CC, that was amazing. But let me tell you something. I can't, in good conscience, keep going and see these things in your hand and stuff. So I'm gonna need you,
Like, I'm going to
friend.
use this hand.
Listen to me. No, friend. I'm gonna need you, black woman, to make sure that your cup is full, okay? And we good. We got your information. I promise you. We got your freebie. It's in the app already. It's in the lounge already with the button that says download freebies. But what is most important, black woman, is you taking care of yourself because you're not a martyr. Like, we got you. We're gonna protect you at all costs. We're gonna pray for you right now. We're gonna love on you. We're gonna wish you well mending, but we good. We got you. I promise. Okay.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yeah, but I'm actually hopefully going to be discharged today, though.
All right, well, you rest now. Okay, we're gonna DM you, y'all. That's TC.obm. Okay, DM her and send her a whole bunch of love because she needs it. All right, love you, mama. Mwah. Bye. All right, cool, cool. So we're gonna keep this rolling, okay? Because these are good questions. So I hope that the segmentation piece made sense. So a natural question for somebody should be, how do I segment? How do I segment? And I want you to go into your email marketing platform. So whether it is MailChimp or Flowdesk or all the other ones that exist, right? Kartra Cart, all these things, Kartra, not Kartra Cart, Kartra or Thrive Cart. And there are these things called tags, right? So you can tag people based on their behaviors, right? For instance, everybody that's here at the summit has a Blaze Virtual Summit Summer 2023 tag, right? And that just allows us to only send summit-related emails to you all and not bother the rest of the folks, right? So segmentation is what she just described. Very good answer. Love that. We have a few more minutes, and so I'll cipher through these questions. Alexis Miller, if you hear me, I would love for you to raise your hand and come to the stage to help me tag team these, because you're actually really, really good with marketing. No pressure if you don't feel like it, though. But if I see your hand raised, I'll bring you up to help answer these questions. So the next question comes from Winnie, and she asks, do you gravitate more to all-in-one platforms, oh, I love this, or prefer to keep elements of your sales funnel separate? The scale is a word, right? Scale is a word, scale is a word, scale is a word, scale is a word. And so we know that growth equals the increase in your revenue, but it has no indication that your expenses aren't also increasing, right? And if you are growing in your revenue and your expenses and your time spent and your resources and your people keep growing, you are not scaling, Black woman, right? But scale means you increase your revenue without an equal increase in your expenses or your time, etc. And the all-in-one platforms give you that leverage. Why? Because you can have one software cost per month that does not go up based on your activity. And if you can replace 5 other tools, a lot of people use Wix in this way, for instance, right? If you can replace five other tools with one tool, then of course that scale, right? Of course that is more productivity, more ROI, more benefit from one platform. And so I would say as much as you can find that, the better. Now, not everybody does everything, right? And so you don't want to use crappy things just because, but you got to figure out how to, this is a big word, okay? But how to simplify your tech stack, because paying for 30 subscriptions is not sustainable. What's up, Alexis? Thank you for joining me, Mamacita.
I was actually going to piggyback on that. You want to get one tool that is going to be efficient in what you do. That can do it all. HubSpot is a good one. MailChimp is a good one. Those are really good for beginners. And then kind of also piggybacking on what Casey said, the segmentation is the tagging. That takes it's the client journey, excuse me. That's what I was trying to say. And that's the journey through once they come from wherever, whether they're coming from meeting you in person or coming from your social media, coming from your website. That's the journey that client is going on. So that will, making sure that that's in place will alleviate them being bombarded with a bunch of emails.
Ashe. Thank you, Alexis. And I'm flipping another one to you. Y'all, this is community, right? When you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Love you, Alexis. All right. So this one, Alexis, is coming from China. And then she asks, should you have more than one funnel per service/product? I apologize if this has been answered already. No, it hasn't.
You want me to take it?
Yep.
No. I think the more streamlined that you are, the more you're able to be effective in how you serve your clients. So no. What do you think?
I agree. One thing that I can't remember what part this was. It might have been on her high ticket funnel page, but it was small, so it might have been easy to see. I agree with Alexis, right? Like you actually want to use upsells and downsells, right? To just efficiently not spend your time to just funnel them where they need to go, right? So let's say you have a high ticket funnel and like I'm gonna make this up. Meeting with you costs $5,000. It's actually super dope if at some point in that journey, maybe after the inquiry that they send in, you actually show them the real price and say, if you proceed with this, is this. And then you give them 2 buttons. These are call to action buttons. And you say, if you're ready to book a call now, click this button and those qualified leads book the call. And then you can say, not in your price range right now. And you actually give them the course, right? Or you actually give them the, less expensive resource, the tool, the templates, etc. Right? That's no involvement from you, but that sales funnel, like exactly like Alexis said, right? It's one sales funnel, but it actually points people in the direction they need to go. And then you can do automatic tagging. Whoever does this, you tag them as whatever. Whoever does that, you tag them as whatever else. So I agree with that. Upsell, downsell is what that's called. We've experienced it. right? And it's worked. I'll give you one more, Alexis, and then we have to go to the very last section of the day.
And
From a
then super-
fire sister. Go ahead, Alexis.
super quick. This is another one of those things, like when I was talking about with Jasmine, this is another one of those things where you might want to bring in help. Shameless plug, Miss Yvonne. But note that there are people that make a living off of automation, marketing automation, sales funnels and stuff like that. So I know that we're thinking about the economy and stuff like that, but maybe spend your coins smarter by bringing somebody in that can do something like that for you. That way you're just not chasing these leads, because you're losing money not having these systems in place, right? So my thought.
Period. And that's exactly what you should do in a recession, right? Think about it. Like, if you're not in your most profitable skills in a recession, that's crazy, right? Like, if you know how to make money or whatever you're doing, connections or whatever that's important, you're losing, like, the ROI is lower than your business because you're tinkering around with stuff you're not good at. Does that make sense? Like, if you spend in like 3 months tinkering with stuff you'll never be exceptional at versus being in your zone of genius, right? And then have somebody come in 2 days, mean it, right? In 2 days and they knock the thing out, right? That's smarter, but that's CEO living, right? Versus being the hardest working employee in your business. Okay. Last one. This one is from Vaniva. If I said your name wrong, I'm so sorry. This one is from Vaniva, and she asks, how could you use AI to create a user-friendly sales funnel? And I'll kick that to you too, Alexis.
Yeah, absolutely. I like literally just how you question that. Go into ChatGPT and ask that same question and be specific. Obviously, create a sales funnel for my X, Y, and Z. That being not specific, and then just giving it to whatever AI chat tool that you utilize, and then having it build it out. And then, of course, you can make the specific edits as you want to, but let AI do the work so that you don't have to. That's what I would say.
Let AI do the work. Put that on the wall. Put that on a sticky note. Love that. Alexis, you're super dope, and I appreciate you pivoted in for the sister who needs to fill her cup today. Love you.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Super dope. Excellent questions. I know that was very dense, as the summers always are, because we want you to be at the front of the line, not the back, Black women. And so I'm very proud of you all for leaning in, for holding on, for staying engaged. We have one more session of the day. This one is called Fine, Fabulous, and Free. And let me just tell you, Shawty knows finance. Do you hear me? So some more money talk. I promised yesterday that we would actually make sure we held space for this pretty frequently in the summit, just because like this is the make or break it in recessions, right? Like we know that, right? So let's hop over. This one is coming from Miss Racine Riker. She is super, super dope. I can't wait for this. And this is ending the day. Okay. See y'all on the other side. Peace.
With my women is fine, fabulous, and financially free. A man is not a plan. Okay, so let me explain that. I was telling a story of how, my first venture into understanding money and, what I consider my financial trauma was having to ask for money from my father, And so I realized that, hey, not saying he wouldn't or couldn't, at the time he just didn't give it to me because he didn't have it. So I've always set the tone for myself that, hey, if I needed anything, I would be the first person I could come to is myself to be able to facilitate that money that I need. So when I came up with this seminar, I was thinking about that experience for myself, that, hey, a man is not a plan. We want to be, the designers of our own lives and be able to put some things in place. But at the same time, understanding the rules of the game. And so our seminar today is The Future is Female. Hey, fine, becoming fabulous, and totally financially free. So as I get started, I want you guys to take notes, plenty of notes. I'll have my contact information at the end, so you can definitely follow up with me. And we're also making sure that all the participants here have an opportunity to sit with me for a 30-minute session, complimentary, because I believe that I can't help you until I see where you are, okay? no, no opportunity for me to, I call myself always being transparent, of course, for myself, but hey, there's, no judgment on my end. I've been where most of you and most people want to be and have been. And so we're going to grow together. Okay. So as I start, again, take notes, put down your questions at some point. If you want to call me to get those questions answered, hey, I'm here for you. And I hope this will be a great avenue into understanding and putting the pieces together of some financial concepts. So again, I am Racine Reichert. I am a personal financial coach. And so I sit with women of color, women and their families, business entrepreneurs, and I show them how to have fun with finance, because it does not have to be, you don't need a PhD, so to speak, in finance. We can have a public high school diploma. Yes, that works. But you do not need to have an advanced degree to understand some simple rules and context. And so at the end of this session, you guys may start out with what I consider high school diploma in finance. But by the time I finish this evening, you all are going to definitely have, a doctorate in finance. I promise. And you wouldn't have had to pay all that money to go back to school. Okay. So I'm going to keep it really simple. And so this joy that you see on the screen of some ladies, that's what I want you to feel after we finish up. Deal? All right, let's get started. Hey, when we think about finances, think about yourself. Do you fit into any of these categories? Your eyes are bigger than your pocket or your pocketbook. You have no emergency fund and something happens, it sets you back. We all know about those, fridge breaks down, the car breaks down. Our girlfriend wants us to take that last minute trip because see, sometimes that's an emergency. Or they want to go to the club and hang out or go to brunch. Sometimes that's an emergency. I'm speaking for myself every now and then. You have habits, more habits, and then some greater habits. And you make good money, but you have no money left at the end of your month. I've been there. I have been there. I understand it. Me personally, I used to go and take my credit cards to use them as a supplement to my income. And lastly, you are the family's bank and savings. Okay. You give too much away or too much money to your family members. You are the go-to person, whether you want to be or not. You are the go-to person of your family. And normally when they come to you, they literally are having you not alone, but they want you to give it to them in most cases. So yeah, I always say, if you're going to give somebody or lend somebody money, make sure you have the expectations that you're not going to get it back. Otherwise, do not give it away yourself. And so all of these things, you may be in one of these categories, but that's cool. We got some answers today for some of the things to, help out for you. And then we talk about, hey, why women tend to be in situations. We know why women know the rules to the money game or why they don't know them, or should know them. We tend to cook, clean, take care of our kids. We raise our husbands, our significant others. We're caretaker for our parents, which is really significant now in these days and times presently. I am one of those that is the caretaker and the go-to for my father. We tend to retire broke, but I'm gonna start changing the road broke to financially independent. We serve as the counselor, the doctor, the advisor. Outside of our normal roles, we're the everything to everybody. So as a result, I realized for myself, nobody's teaching us the money game and nobody understands the rules of the money game. You can't play the game unless you know the rules. And so here I'm going to make sure I give you at least the foundational rules that will help you move and navigate through so you can make some great changes in your household. Now, we know that there's generational brokenness and we talk about financial trauma. Recently, I was having a conversation with some good friends and we talk about physical trauma, we talk about mental trauma, but we don't talk about the financial trauma. A lot of the things that we do and experience And some of the cycles that we are in, it really has a foundation. And so, of course, there's too much to go into today, but hey, just think about where you are now financially and some of the things that have changed your dynamics when we're talking about money and finance, okay? Think about some habits we were taught as kids. I talked about how my first experience with money was not having my father give me an additional amount of money so that I could go on a trip, and I end up leaving on that trip without asking for that money again. And I end up really getting a bad experience as I went through on that trip and not having any money. And when you're out of town as a 8 to 10-year-old and you're in an environment that you're not familiar with, that to me was my trauma. Think about also what instructions were you given about money. Literally, we went to elementary school, middle school, high school, and only thing that I remember is home ec. And in home ec, we did not talk about money. I think we did learn how to balance a checkbook, just maybe one time, okay? And then did people purchase items on credit? And as I navigated to my career, I remember I got paid once a month. And so by the time the end of the month rolled around, I had no money. So what did I do? I started using credit cards to balance out that money. And so we also talk about women are some of the world's biggest spenders, whether it's the new Louboutins, whether it's the new Brahmin bag, whether it's just really hanging out on the weekends, every weekend. We are the biggest spenders. And you all think about some of those reasons why we are. We can really give people our money, but saving it and putting it away for future so that we can really do the things we want to do and not the things we have to do. All right. So as we face unique challenges, think about a couple of things. Our earning power. All right. How much money will make so much of a unique difference for us, and we are in different careers now. And unfortunately, women are paid nickels, to the dollars that most men are going to receive. And we're smart, probably as smart as they are, but we are paid less. And then we're talking about career moves. Sometimes we change careers, change jobs, etc. Sometimes we're in positions, we're raising families and maybe can't, complete educational things, our degrees, etc. But, outside of that, the things we want to do and move forward, we have those opportunities. It's just making sure that we're getting them so we can make the money we need to live and have a lifestyle or a life balance, as they say. And then we talk about life expectancy. We're going to talk about that in a second, that women tend to live longer than men. And lastly, more importantly, what shoes we wear or need to wear with an outfit, okay? So that's really the most unique one out of all four, all right? So we talked about life expectancy, and women can expect to live about 16 years more after the age of 65. But then the men in our lives can expect to live about 11 years after the same 65 years old. So with that said, we're living longer. And as we live longer, that means we need more income based on our life expectancy, okay? So the statistics are already there. They're already in place. So the reasons we definitely must change. Yeah, we live longer than men. And at some point, we're going to be by ourselves, hopefully, not too much sooner. And knowing that we're going to live longer, we got to make better decisions about our money. So we have something called a financial independence number, and I'm going to call it the FIN number for right now. That number tells me how much do you need to have saved based on when you want to retire and to have that amount of money available to you so you can have the same lifestyle that you have now, okay, later on. If you're 30 years of age or older and you aren't fully funding your Roth IRA, chances are you're going to retire dead broke. If in fact you are able to retire, that's significant. The big word if. There's still some 75-year-old, 80-year-old people working, not because they just want to, but because they have to. And so as a result, a disproportionate amount of women in poverty retire without money. So the goal is not to have you in that position. And all it is just tweaking and making some decisions now so that you'll have some repercussions later that would be a benefit to you. A growing voice. Let's talk about a few statistics. And I don't want to bore you with some, but I think it's important for us to hear, hey, what is actually going on around us. But 44% of women in the US report themselves as a primary breadwinner in their household. 31% of the women do not have enough disposable income so they can do the things they want. So that is keeping them from moving forward, especially toward their financial goals. And then we have millennial women in the US, 53% say they have started saving retirement compared to 71% of millennial women. Okay, maybe that retirement, or I'm sorry, when I say 71%, it should be, instead of millennial women, it should be baby boomers. Okay, so we've got to look at the numbers wherever you are, whether you're a millennial, baby boomer, Generation X, Z, or Y. The goal is we got to do some better things financially. So what does freedom mean to you? I always ask this question because we talk about, and I think sometimes it's a cliche when we talk about becoming financially independent. To me, that's a blank phrase. And I say it as a blank phrase because financial independence is truly different for everybody. All right. Some of you may say, I want to be financially free so I can travel the world without having to worry about money. I want to be able to buy the things that are important to me, whether it's a new car or a new house. Some people say being financially free means I can spend time with my family, my friends, and that's where I get my joy. But we can do it and be able to spend the time where we can spend the money and not worry about it. Some of you may say, I want to be, a philanthropist. I want to be able to donate to charities that I can really make a difference. And there are those who say, hey, I want my life to be my own. I don't want to do nothing. I want to just concentrate on the hobbies that are important to me. Whether it is, again, some hobbies are traveling. Some hobbies are that you may collect cars. Whatever that is, your freedom and the definition, whatever it is, it always has to have a game plan so that, hey, you can achieve it. And I always not have people put their game plan or their goals into a box. I want them to increase that box and widen it, and there's some things we can do to make sure that we can increase it. Also in the business world, the playing field isn't always level, unfortunately. I remember working in corporate, and I haven't worked in corporate since 1994. But I realized that, hey, that glass ceiling was really, blocking me from moving me where I wanted to go. We're talented, we're educated, we're energetic, just as well as men are, but often fewer opportunities to upgrade and move forward financially and, in our careers. Women in the workplace, we tend to stay on those jobs a typical tenure of 4.5 years. Part of that may be because we're leaving the job to care for kids. Sometimes we're just leaving jobs because they're not where we want them to be. Lifestyle balance, or what we call work-life balance. Most pension plans, however, only vest or you become truly invested into that plan after 5 years. So if we're not working there for that time frame, we're losing out. So we're leaving retirement dollars on the table every time we leave a job or change jobs. And on average, we take about 12 years off to take care of family. And I am seeing more of the women that I'm working with that are having elderly parents that they have to actually take care of as well. So compare with less than 2 years for men, you know, who typically you don't see them taking the time off to go take for, you know, we call them home dads, I believe. You know, they may not necessarily do that as much. It's changing, the dynamics are changing, but women and are taking care of their kids, they're taking care of their parents, and I can attest to that for sure. As I'm starting, I want to help you guys build your financial house. The first part of building your financial house is making sure you have what we call life insurance and income protection. And a lot of times we don't like to talk about that, but it is important when we're talking about building our financial house. So I have a test that I give everybody, and I ask a couple of questions. If you died tomorrow, would your church have to take up a collection? If you didn't know anything about our community, you know that this is extremely prevalent. In fact, most churches, because of this, have actually depleted their resources because they've been having to give it to, you know, the people in community because they didn't have the life insurance. They didn't have a financial covering to make sure that they move forward. So they're taking care of those families. If you died tomorrow, would your family have to pass the bucket or start a GoFundMe account? Of course, you've seen a number of those on Facebook, etc. And unfortunately, if most of you didn't know, GoFundMe was not originally set up for that. It was really started more for investment and saving money or raising money for investments, you know, for businesses, okay? And then third question, how long would your insurance cover your current income for your family if you died? You typically get small policies, 10 or 25 or 50. And the excuse is, I just want enough to bury me by. But most people are not thinking about the kids that are going to be left behind, because before you left and before God took you home so early, you were making 50, 75,000 a year, and your family used that income to take care of you. So if you're gone, 10,000 is not going to take care of that 5-year-old or that 15-year-old, etc. And then last question, do you have at least 250,000 minimum in a life policy outside of your job? We're not even talking about for those who are entrepreneurs having a life policy in place. We call them, you know, key man policies. That is another separate opportunity for you or entrepreneurs to make sure that that's in place, because not only for your personal family having a policy, but for those who are entrepreneurs, you need something in place so that if you don't show up to your business, the business can transition as if you were there. I've had that happen so much for a number of clients who are entrepreneurs that left here, you know, early from life. And so their business didn't have a transition in place, or they transition effectively because they have that key man policy in place. So this is what I call Jamal and Sarah and their daughter, Jamaya. And so each of them here, this is the actual client, but I've did this for privacy, changed, you know, their names. And so both of them bring home $3,500 a month. That's about $7,000. That money is taking care of mortgage, cars, insurance premiums, credit cards, utilities, groceries, and more importantly, childcare. But unfortunately, if Jamal doesn't come home, hey, those bills, all of those things are still in play. You still got to pay the mortgage. You still got to pay for the car note. You got to pay the credit cards, utilities, and more important, childcare and groceries, okay? So with that said, we want to make sure that even if the breadwinners are not there, you can transition and move forward as if they both are there, okay? If this happened to your family, what will your family lose? That's an important question. We aren't thinking about that. And so as we move forward, when I'm sitting with clients, I am doing what I call the dime piece theory, okay? And it just tells how much should you have in life coverage. And so we have never been taught to calculate exactly how much coverage we should have in place outside of your respective jobs, okay? So we have something called the DIME, and the acronym DIME. The D stands for debt. So if there's husband and wife, in this example, they have 50,000 of coverage on the husband, or I'm sorry, 50,000 annual salary, the husband makes a year, and the wife makes 40,000 annual salary. So when we calculate their coverage, we start with the debt. They had 25,000 of debt. So I made sure that, hey, I put that as both of them as a start to calculate the coverage. So in this column, I'm putting the debt respectively because both of them got to pay each other's debt off if something happens. The I in DIME stands for income. And what I do is take 10 times their salary to calculate how much should be enough to take care of. If anything happens, their annual salary will come into them for at least 10 years, okay? So husband has 500,000 based on his salary, and the wife has 400,000, okay? So far, so good. The M in DIME stands for mortgage balance. So in this case, their mortgage balance is 100,000. So I've added that in the total because, hey, it would be great if something should happen to either one of them, they can pay the mortgage off and the surviving spouse will still have a roof over their heads. Make sense? And then E stands for education. So typically for going to a private university, it's really about 137,000 real-time number for a 4-year degree, okay? And then if you're going to send them to a public school, you can expect 50 to 80,000. So I use 80,000 here. So that will take care of room and board for 4 years, okay? And a little extra money for incidentals. So adding that up, you see that the total that's necessary, keeping the number simple, the husband need 705,000, really almost $1 million in coverage. And then the wife in and of itself, she needs at least 605,000. This is actual numbers for that particular client. So when I sit down with someone, I'm actually doing this calculation for you, and I give you 3 options to actually make sure you get the coverage that you need. And I typically do a level term policy so that we can cover everything and make sure that you have enough face amount so that, hey, the family doesn't have to worry about a thing, okay? So far, so good. So far, so good. So your plan for tomorrow, because we don't know what's going to happen. I make sure that, hey, you put a plan in place in case you leave here too soon, but I'm also showing you how to save later in case you live too long. But either way, you should have a game plan and we have something in place and discuss it. While nothing can replace a spouse, that term policy will protect you. All right. And as a leaving thought on this section, a wise woman leaves an inheritance for her children's children. Of course, we know Proverbs 13:22. Next level of building our financial house is making sure we have our estate plan in place. That's our wills and legal protection. So, thought questions. If you died today, who would get your personal possessions? Secondly, who will your family be fighting over for your money and possessions? And I know some people say, Racine, did you really have to add that question in there? But I promise you, I've seen a number of funerals and the things that are going on, and it's just unfortunate. You say it'll never happen. I've seen some things that I thought would never happen, So part of this will and testament is to help make sure that there are instructions. And then where would your children go? Most people say, well, it'll automatically go to my husband or automatically go to my wife or automatically go to my mom. That ain't necessarily also the rule and written in stone. Can you all see my face? Okay. Would your loved ones, last question, know what to do next? That's the most important question. I can't tell you and stress to you the deer in headlight moment that happens when the breadwinners in a family leave here. I mean, it is not only traumatic in and of itself, the grief, you can't even begin to think when you're going through that. And I'm sure some ladies out there can relate to what I'm saying, you know, that you've experienced it personally, whether it's a parent or a spouse. It is truly a devastating, a situation when you're in it, and you can't really be thinking about a whole lot. So that's why, having someone like myself as a financial advisor actually helps you transition until you can really make decisions later. Okay? So when we talk about estate planning, some simple terminology, you can become what we call intestate. You don't have anything at all. Maybe some people say, well, I don't have any assets. If you got a car, you got assets. There's the power of attorney. There's the financial and the medical powers of attorney. Who's going to make financial decisions for you if you're incapacitated, you're in the hospital, or who's going to make medical decisions about, your life, taking you off life support, etc. If you have jointly held assets, what happens then? Contracts, living trust, and of course the overall instructional pages. I call it the last love letter that you'll ever leave. That's your last will and testament again. As we building our financial house, we're coming to the next level. And after the wills and debt legal protection, there's the debt management part of it. Now, I know some of you all say, I don't have any debt, but for those who do, just blink your eyes a couple of times, okay? I'll know who you are, all right? So we have the causes of debt. And so I look at that, and there's so many myriad reasons for it, but just some of the simple ones is failure to exercise self-control. Now, I am one of those people when I go into a Walmart, and I love going into Walmart, but when I go into Walmart, I make a beeline to the clearance section. I mean, I may not need a thing, but I am going to the clearance section at Walmart. And when I go, I just know there's something on that shelf that I gotta have for later. So I end up becoming a hoarder. Okay, that's my story about self-control. Okay, I'm sure some of y'all have that, going to Dillard's, going to Macy's, whatever the story is, I understand. Okay, low self-esteem, you'd be surprised. A lot of times we get into debt because we're going through, we call shopping therapy, retail therapy. And so a lot of times when we're having some bad situation we'll go shop and use our credit cards as a way of relieving whatever that stress item is. We're overpaying for basic items. I know we typically charge going to the grocery store. I've heard some people say, hey, I'm getting points for it, whatever. But when you're doing that and not paying it off in 30 days, that interest adds up, and those eggs truly become expensive, outside of the cost going up and inflation. We're desiring to keep up with the Joneses, and I can be transparent here and I can say I've been there. I've had where I've seen my girlfriends got the best, bag, etc. And I want to have the same bag. So I end up going out and getting that bag, my own version of it. And so we end up doing some crazy things just so we can be popular, okay, or be seen. And then output is more than your input. Now, we know that, hey, we're not necessarily making the money we want to make. We're just trying to pay Peter to pay Paul, okay? And so as a result, we're calling that caught in the credit card trap because we are using it to make up for the income we don't have, all right? So that means Amex, Visa, MasterCard, and Discover becomes our best friend. So I've set where we can become and set up a budget, okay? I don't really like the word budget. I'll call it, planning, okay? And planning for 30 days. And so the average plan of your income, 50% should be of living essentials. That's the rent, transportation, insurance, food and utilities. The other 20% should be financial goals. They should be also the debt reduction, savings, and investments. And 30% should be flexible spending. These are things that you just want to buy, you don't necessarily need them. Now I'm gonna go back for a minute. Of that total amount, when we're talking about, the flexible and spending at 50, make sure you allocate 10% for charity, or tithing and giving at some point. I think that's a great foundation for your plans. All right. Remember, we wanted to be philanthropists at some point in our lives or in our financial, game plan. One of the ways that I'm helping families get rid of debt is doing debt stacking. So this is an example. We have them here. They have a number of credit cards and a mortgage and spending $2,700 a month. Well, with debt stacking, you just start with one bill at a time and pay them off. Again, this is just one opportunity to become debt free. So once I pay off that first bill, I am now going here to the second bill and I'm going to pay it off as well. So that money I will put toward the second bill, the credit card number 2. And as I pay it off, I'm doing the same thing. Sorry about that. So as I'm paying it off, I'm going straight to the next bill and I'm going to literally just pay it off. Okay. And so forth and so on. So after I pay off that last credit card 1, that money that I have left over, I'm putting it toward the mortgage. And when I finish paying that last bill off, including the mortgage, in this example, I've paid the credit card on off. If I didn't do it, it'll be 23 years to pay it off if I didn't do the debt stacking. And I paid close to $214,000 a month in interest. Or I'm sorry, $214,000 in interest overall. But doing this debt stacking, instead, I've paid it off in 9 years or 14 years sooner. And I've saved over $130,000 in interest. So the goal is to make your money work smarter, not harder. Okay. And so most people say, hey, I'll never be able to save because I got so much debt. Well, this is the answer. So once all the debt is paid off, I'll put that $2,700 into a mutual fund averaging about 9%. And by the time you're 67, that's $2.4 million saved. So I joke with some people and I tell people, you remember the show where you either married, you ate worms and you get $1 million, or you married, some crazy person, they'll pay you $1 million. Well, I won't have you do all that. We'll just start here with the debt stacking and some other things I'm gonna show you. And as we're building that financial house, we've gone over the life coverage as your foundation. We talked about your estate plan. We talked about you eliminating your debt. But now let's talk about saving or investing. There is a difference. So investment tests. Remember, I'm always giving you tests of understanding. Do you regularly save in an emergency fund? That's the first question. An emergency fund is what you have put aside for a year or less of things that come up, whether it's buying a car, whether it's making sure the fridge breaks, okay? A lot of times I always tell you to have at least 6 to 8 months of your salary in place, okay? Second, do you pay yourself before you pay others and setting aside dollars for the future, all right? Do you have a retirement plan outside of your jobs? We call it, your long-term savings outside of your emergency funds. And do you have an investment plan for accomplishing your goals and dreams? For an example, when my husband and I got married, we had set aside money so that we didn't have to, build a credit card or debt to get, be in debt before our marriage. So we saved up money. And I actually even bartered for a number of things for my wedding. So with that said, we end up spending less than $5,000 for our wedding. And it was a beautiful ceremony, including the food. Isn't that amazing? It's unheard of. And when I hear people spending 20 or 30,000, I'm like, okay, cool, you do you, but I want to make sure I have money so that I can live after the honeymoon. Okay. We call it the money moon. Okay. So as we start thinking about investing, we talk about the 3 accounts that you need. And these are the 3 complete savings game plans for you. The first one is that emergency fund. That's having an account at least a year or less in place, okay, for incidentals. And then we have short-term savings. You may be saving for a home in 2 to 3 years. That's short-term, 2 to 3 years where you'll need the money. And then we have our wealth building or long-term savings. We call it, again, our wealth building. That's 5 years or longer. And so as I talk about investing, I'm going to share with you a little known banking rule. And I learned this rule in college for an accounting exam because my background is accounting before I became an added financial advising. But it says, if I take the interest rates of the money that you'll be earning and divide it into 72, I can tell you how quickly your $1 will double to $2. So in this example, I'm giving you $10,000. Isn't that cool? Whether I gave you 10, whether I gave you $1, or whether I gave you 100, it doesn't make a difference. It is the same principle. So in this example for 3%, 72 divided by 3 is 24 years your money will double. So our average life expectancy is 48 plus years, right? Hopefully, God willing. So in this example, your money only doubled twice under 3%. And that's typically the banks or less. And 6% is typically money market accounts here or life insurance policies or credit unions. Now, 72 divided by 6 is now every 12 years, your money will double, okay? And so in this case, it has doubled 5 times over the same 48 years. And then most importantly, we talk about the 12% column, which is what we call mutual funds or, professionally investments. And so they average anywhere from 8 to 12% return. So 72 divided by 12 is now 6% that our money will double, or 6 years our money will double. So every 6 years in this example is doubled almost 10 times. So all that I'm sharing with most of potential clients is, let me show you how to move from the 3%, which is where the banks typically have, and move you over to professionally managed savings accounts or mutual funds on this 12% rate side. So far, so good. Again, this is a rule developed by Albert Einstein, who basically was the smartest man in the world, right? I call him the man with the original afro, right? So I learned again this rule for a test in college, but never understood how the practical part of it, etc. Okay. So lastly, we're getting toward the end, and we're literally talking about the cap. And we talked about, hey, understand extra income. And most of you all are entrepreneurs, and you're here really understanding how to make some more money and putting some money aside so you can do all the things that we talked about here. And so we're great entrepreneurs. We know corporate America has failed us, high pressure to perform. Hey, of course, unequal pay, the need to have unlimited income so we can have, more money at the end of our month, etc., than the reverse. We definitely want to have a work-life balance with our kids and family, etc. Okay. So as your next step with the information that I share with you, follow up with an advisor. If not myself, then someone else to help gather your documents. And I'll provide a checklist of some things that I need to see where you are so that I know how to give you a game plan for the A to the B. Schedule that one-on-one with me in the next 24 to 48 hours because, hey, the information I shared is still fresh in your mind. As I had told you or asked you earlier, write down questions and thoughts as you go. So I'm sure those are great questions and great commentary. We'll do a financial game plan to look at where you are for your life insurance needs, also that FIN number, financial independence number, and maybe give you a plan for debt. But the overall thing that I want to do is make sure you have a sense of accomplishment to be able to move you toward A to a B, where B is going to be brave, bold, and beautiful women of financially set and sound. So I hope this is helpful to you. Here's my contact information. I know they'll be sharing that with you throughout the sessions, the next 2 days, etc. And so for listening out for you guys, I look forward to seeing you, in the future, and have a wonderful and gracious day. See you soon.
Racing, you so dope, girl. You so dope.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You feel like cuz, like the whole talk, you were snatching our edges every step of the way, but you felt like cuz. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, you have tons of questions, so
Okay.
I am going to show them on the stage one by one. And ladies, as a reminder, if you hit the hand button at the bottom of the screen, you can raise your hand and we can bring you on stage to ask Racine the questions live, okay? And then after the session, we're going to see who's at the top of the leaderboard. So I would recommend some folks raise their hands to get some points in there. Okay, Racine. So this question is coming from Gwendolyn, and she asks, can a Roth IRA be structured in a manner where it is not tied to the market?
It can. I always like to tell everybody you want to maximize your money, better than, what the bank is doing. Because remember, there's something called inflation. So a lot of times I know when people say they're not wanting to be tied to the market, is because they're scared of potential fluctuations. That's one reason why, just like you go to a doctor rather than go to Google to get your medical information, we're going to tailor something that's consistent for you. I'm not going to get you into an investment or anything that's going to be, fly by night. So we're going to choose what's comfortable based on your risk. We call it risk tolerance. Or, hey, if you're driving down, if you're in Atlanta, if you've been down I-20, do you want to be in the median, middle, HOV, fast lane on the HOV? Everybody can't be in the HOV, but that doesn't mean you always have to stay in the median. You can meet in the middle. I hope that helps. But yes, definitely can. But we want to try to maximize better than inflation so you can get ahead. Retirement is a Roth is for retirement, for long term.
Yeah, and that's a good reminder to us that we don't have to be the expert, right? Like you said, like work with an advisor like yourself, and you can structure it how we need it to be. So good. And I'm going to bring a person to the stage for you, Racine. Crystal, the mic is yours.
Hey, Crystal.
Hi there. So the question is around like calculating like how much life insurance. And when I started looking at, I'm like, well, what do I do about salary? So in this situation, even though my business is not, I don't have a regular rate, right, for my year, and I'm currently not working. And so even though that might change, at what point, or at least where do I sit in that space to like decide like what value to use?
Gotcha. I love that question from entrepreneurs. Oh, I love this one. Two ways I'm gonna answer this. Okay. I understand for most entrepreneurs, your income fluctuates. I would take your average income, literally what is your average that makes your household move forward? That's one. And then also add what keeps your business going afloat also. Okay. And so that would be your average annual income. If you have kids, let's say you have a 2-year-old, okay? That means your child will be 16 years before they're needing to be grown and gone. So I would at least do 16 times your salary. At the least do 10 times your salary. For you, Crystal, that means I have enough to manage my business for potentially a year, pay my personal expenses if I don't show up, and my kids are going to be okay. And just like I did that dime, you still can do the dime with your self-employment income, you know, and at the minimum, do 250 for you.
Mhm.
At the minimum. That's a small amount, but that's a start.
Got it.
That's a start.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank
Crystal.
you.
Mhm.
Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to show one more question on the stage before I bring another person up, Racine. So
Okay.
this question is from Yvonne, and she asks, how does setting up a trust fit into the picture?
Okay. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm kind of giving you some real world experience. Everybody does not need to set up a trust. Okay. Let's keep that in mind, because what happens is we don't necessarily have enough assets to do just that. So I work with a number of estate planners because everybody's plan is sort of custom. And I know that may not really truly answer your question in turn, but having a trust means, hey, you got quite a bit of assets, you know, transitioning, you know, not only living, but in your passing, if you have a number of assets, you got young kids, you got a generational transfer that you need. Maybe, yes, a trust will be be adequate. But for some people, even like myself, we have multiple businesses, me and my husband. We don't have kids. And the lawyer said, hey, Racine, you guys don't need a trust presently, but we'll structure your will, your love letter, so that, hey, you can transition your families and your assets and your business. One day we will have a trust, though. Knock on wood.
Yes, you will.
Mhm.
And Yvonne added a piece to this. She said, should have been specific in saying living trust.
Same answer. Same answer. Some people mistake living trust with the living will. Okay. The living trust is still while you're actually living, they have a trust set up so that, hey, it's still working as if you were, you know, you still have assets that are still functional, etc. And they do that again so that, hey, you can protect it from taxes, gift taxes, etc. And that's mostly where most of the living trusts come into play, you know. But they still, again, you have to make sure that for you, if that's really what you need.
Beautiful. Thank you, Racine. And China, I'm bringing you to the stage. The mic is yours.
Hi. Sorry about all the noise in the background.
You're good. You're good.
So my question is about husband and wives, right? So if they have a separate advisor, how does that work with, I guess, merging or getting one advisor if the husband might have invested time and money with a different advisor? How does that work?
I have that happen quite a bit, more than you know.
Okay.
One of the things I always tell people, I'm gonna answer your question two ways. When you all were married, you became one. Okay. So one of the things I ask you, what is it your ultimate goal as one? Also, I ask you, maybe his advisor, he feels really comfortable in not build a relationship with yours and vice versa. So y'all may have to come to a meeting of the minds. What is it your advisor is giving that mine can't, and vice versa? Okay. At the worst case scenario, I don't suggest going to find somebody on the outside of those two. You know, maybe to compare, you know, because I tell people I don't know everything, but my clients do stay with me because they built a great relationship with me. And not to toot my own horn and be cocky, but I've won over some husbands in this example that you're saying. I've won over some husbands. I've won over some women's, you know, some women who came, their husbands came to me way before they got married, and the wife is trying to figure me out. Y'all understand, okay? And they're like, Racine, she cool, she all right. So, you know, I have to be on my lane and say, this is what I can offer you, whether you decide to stay with me or not, you know. And you will lose, they will lose, and I may lose, but at least I'm going to try. But try to find a balance and see what you guys, you know, what one or the other is missing, etc. In my opinion.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your question, China. Awesome question. And I'm going to pivot over back to the Q&A box, Racine. This
Okay.
one is from Christina, and she says, Miss Racine, everything you spoke is truth. What is the best way to approach your loved ones about this important conversation, especially if you're unmarried but a parent?
I'm assuming you're first talking about your kids. And if so, great. If you're talking about your parents, maybe a mother or father that's left, one of the things, it's odd that somebody, as I just had this question asked. Sometimes, like, we had a family function on Sunday, Father's Day. And one of the things we sat down, if I had to go to each individual and pull them as a subgroup of the event, and I just started a conversation, Sometimes we think, well, that's so private, I don't want to get in there. No, okay. If you have to have them come over for wings and Kool-Aid, y'all sit down and y'all have this talk, because it's better to have the talk now. It's uncomfortable. If you don't have it now, afterwards, it's too late. And it's not going to be a woulda, coulda, shoulda. I've been in those situations where they said, we thought we were going to talk about it later. Oh, we put it off because they didn't want to talk about it now. It's so many in our community, that whatever that is, we got to get rid of it. I know that's going to be part of that financial trauma thing, and we talk about everything else. We can talk about The Little Mermaid. We can talk about what Denzel did. What somebody talked about Idris earlier. We can talk about all of that. But honey, baby, your money is the conversation of choice as a start. Because that woulda, shoulda, coulda, that's the worst conversation you want to have after the fact. Been there, done that. I hope that I'm talking from my heart. I'm talking from my heart.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so the last question, Racine, thank you for being so gracious in your answers as well. This one is coming from Yvonne, and she asks, in debt stacking, do you start with the highest card balance or the lowest card balance?
Start with the credit card that has the highest interest rate. And more often than not, that is the one with the highest balance, typically. To start with the one with the highest credit balance, credit card rate. Definitely.
That's good. All right, Racine. So you have fed us, you have poured into us, you have freebies for us. Y'all check the lobby, the reception area. There's a link to the freebies. Y'all can grab that. It's inside of the app as well. The freebies, you can grab that. But take this and definitely cleave to Racine. She's super dope. Where would you recommend folks find you, Racine?
You can definitely find me Instagram at Racine_Reichert. Website is www.racinereichert.com. We're revamping the site, so just bear with us. I am on LinkedIn. The Reichert Dream Team also is on Facebook as well. So you'll definitely see it in my profile. Love to have you. You can Google me. I just Googled myself, you guys.
Toot.
I know we were talking about AI earlier, but you can Google me too. Okay.
All right. Well, you are super dope in the way that you take some of the most complex things for anybody in the world and make it so palatable for us and use examples that we understand is brilliant. So thank you so much for pouring the way that you did today. And y'all, she is back actually on day 5 with a panel discussion on beating the recession, and she's combined with some other financial gurus too. So keep it locked for that. Thank you so much, Racine.
All right, appreciate you all.
Thank you. All right, y'all. So we done. That's day 2. Okay. We have absorbed a lot on purpose, okay, because the goal of this is strategy. Okay, we do a whole lot that feels good, and that's important, right? Anybody that's been in the community, December, all day, every day, it is the feel good stuff. But in the summertime, while we still have half the year left, we definitely get some technical chops in so that y'all are cold in the game. Okay. That is it for day 2. We have 3 days left. Okay. Really quick, we'll do some call outs for the leaderboard. I'll let Hannah shout y'all out. 3 days left is still anybody's game. Okay. And Latoya, if she's here, Latoya will close you out for the boots, okay, as you go out. But take it away, Hannah.
All right, y'all. So let me refresh because a lot happened in the past 10 minutes with the Q&A. Y'all are killing it when it comes to the points. But I'll be really quick. I'll do top 5. So in 5th place, we have Amber right now with 3,670 points. Amber Heard. And then there's a huge jump, not gonna lie. Christina King in 4th place with 5,515 points. Then we have Alexis Miller with 5,905 points in 3rd place. In 2nd place, we have Dana Stansel with 5,975 points. And y'all in 1st place right now with 7,050 points, we have China Bailey. So,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
China is playing with y'all.
She's not playing the game, y'all. She's going for that podium, okay?
Dang, she snuck up with it, didn't she?
Yeah.
Okay. Dope,
That's
dope,
it.
dope. Thank you, Hannah. And as a reminder, everybody get used to these faces, okay? Hi, I'm Casey, co-founder and CEO. Hannah.
Co-founder. Co-founder and coming in the Chief Operating Officer.
Toya.
And I am Latoya Dixon Smith, co-founder and head of product. And I want y'all to check out my shirt. It says Defend Black Womanhood because that's what we're about up in here. But I won't hold y'all because now that you have been fed and nourished by all of our speakers today for day 2, it is time to go sow some seeds and to shop with our vendors in the Buy Black market. So make sure that you don't just run out of here real quick. Go ahead and step up over in the booth to shop with our vendors. Check out what they have to offer because I have seen a lot of dope stuff that I haven't seen before. So go check them out. And I see a lot of faces, names that I've seen in the chat who are also vendors in that market. So they've been in here getting fed as well. So it'll be great for y'all to go check them out and to support and yeah, patronize. Like that's what it's all about.
That's right. Ashe. All right, y'all. We love you so much. Thank you for rocking with us on day 2. Day 2 is officially over in terms of the sessions and take up space in the booths. They do not end 24/7. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Bye.